Greetings Rummies and welcome to Rum Rum, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to the third race of the Evolution Racing Academy, which is gonna be a very scary proposition. It's gonna be Zandvoort at night. Cody, welcome. Would you drive Zandvoort at night in real life or in a simulation?
Yes. Would I do it as fast as these drivers will? Perhaps not.
Yikes. I mean, Zandvoort is already a scary proposition, although Zolder would be even worse. But Zandvoort is a scary proposition, and driving it, only seeing part of the track while you're driving.
Although I must say, it's not looking quite as dark on track conditions as night racing would usually lead you to suspect, but
Not yet.
It will get darker. Yes, exactly. It will get darker as the evening progresses here in the game. But yes, we are at Zandvoort. We're at pre-FIA Grade 1 upgraded Zandvoort. So here we are. It's the
gravel traps.
yes, and the sandy dunes. The desert takes the week. My desert, my Arrakis, my dune, my Zandvoort.
For sure. You're not allowed to mess up, because then your race is over. Well, not completely over in Assetto Corsa Competizione, but still, getting into those sand traps, gravel traps, is not the thing that you want to do. And truth to be told, I hated that because of the whiny babies from Formula 1, they just paved everything. Yuck. Look.
But the beauty of sim racing is that we get to live in the bliss of the past, and this is the FIA Grade 2 Zandvoort, and not the FIA Grade 1 Zandvoort.
Question to the chat: how's the sound? Last week you were saying that I was not as well to be heard as Cody. Is it
skill
now
issue?
Better. Always a skill issue.
Get good.
All right, sounds good to me. Chris says, "Hi, Chris." Nice taking of track by night. We're still on qualifying. Oh right, we have a driver called Night KN, and they're driving at night. That's gonna be
Night night.
yeah, exactly. Night is driving at night. By the way, this will be yet another race where we're gonna be thinking about new songs for the what did we call it? Bumping Beamers.
There
Our
you go.
new sim racing band who's playing both kinds of music, country and western.
Yes.
And I'm working already on the next song. It's gonna be called Guilty Pumpkin. It's a Halloween song.
All right.
So Halloween is in November, right?
October.
Well, the last day of October. So it's November.
Yes. Well,
It's a great song for November. I already have the hook line.
well, you see, by the time you reach Halloween on the 31st, they're already rolling out the Christmas decorations.
That's true.
So you gotta enjoy it on the day, because after that they're gonna take it from you.
But as I said, it's a Halloween song, and the hook line is gonna be "Lock him up 34 times."
Oh, okay, we're going there today. All right.
Well, Guilty Pumpkin, you know.
I see. Now I get it.
Guilty Pumpkin is a song for November. Am I getting there?
I see. I see. I see. We got there. We forced it, but we got there. Square peg, round hole. We got there. Oh my goodness. All right. Zandvoort is a very cool circuit. The first corner. Do you know what the first corner after the start-finish straight is called on Zandvoort?
I knew it, but I would have to look it up. Wikipedia is my best friend.
It's the Tarzan Bocht. That's what racingcircuits.info has as the name of turn 1, the Tarzan Bocht. Is it because you're hanging on and swinging around the corner? Is that why they call it the Tarzan Bocht?
I mean, Bocht is clearly corner or something like that, because they are all, most of them are called something Bocht. So, yeah, Tarzan. Maybe.
And some of them, you know, I'm not super familiar with Dutch, other than I know that it's a fairly silly language viewed from an English lens. Although German with anti-baby pillen is up there. But they have a turn. It's kind of the S's of going through the dunes that everyone thinks of whenever they think of Zandvoort. The final corner, you got 2 unnamed corners, an unnamed right-hander and an unnamed left-hander, and then the right-hander after that is named after Dutch race car driver Rob Slotemaker. And I might be butchering that name a little bit, but they just added Bocht at the end of it, so the turn name is Rob Slotemaker Bocht, which is a very funny name. And perhaps if you speak German, you're perhaps used to a very long word like that, because that's just kind of how compound words work in German. But for me, I'm like, man, that's a lot of letters.
Yeah, that's not even the beginning of the longest word that you can build up in German.
Oh, certainly. Oh, certainly.
That's German for beginners. So, quali is over, and we have Berkhuis, Rupsam, and Christo as the first 3 drivers, and I cannot tell you which class they are. Ah, yeah, they are all gold. So the first 4 drivers are gold. So then we have with Viero silver driver, and the others are gold until the 12th. We're gonna be seeing names that we saw last week and the week before that, but again, no Koshut. Oh, okay, maybe he is not able to make the time for Evolution Racing Academy. Or move to the next one. Officially still in qualifying, but the drivers are not driving. Soon we'll move to racing. And
Do
let
we
me
have
check. Yeah, go ahead.
standings? Do we have standings from the championship so far?
Oh, I would have to look it up. The problem is that as the organizers of the Evolution Racing Academy have a lot to do, very often the standings come with a couple of weeks after.
I see.
Start into drop. Won't be able to start Well, in 4 minutes or so. Let me check. Standing. Too many channels. No, I don't find the standing. I'll have to remind Christian next time to drop the standings. And you are seeing once again that some drivers are getting penalties. These are what we call the success penalties. That is, drivers who had good positions in the last race are getting 5 to 15 second penalties. As a way to equalize the grid a little bit, so that drivers don't get ahead and win every time like it happens in other boring series. Well, I can change the cameras, but I cannot tell the Corsa competizione. Oh, bother.
Looks like I also
need to
cannot.
return to garage?
Yeah.
No, but I cannot drive there either.
Oh, yeah, I hit escape and then drive. It didn't allow me to return to garage, but I was able to escape and hit drive and I'm in.
Ah, no. Oh. Yay. So, escape, return to garage. Escape, nothing. Escape, nothing. Escape, nothing. Escape, oh yeah, now you're allowed to click on drive. The Corsa Competizione, you're getting on R Factor 2 level. Yeah, exactly. Low reg rides, just ACC things. Absolutely. We have 1 minute until the start of the session, which is not going to be the start of the race because they do just one setup lap and then we go with a rolling start. 1 hour of Zandvoort at night, although at the moment it's not that nighty. Even if it's 10 p.m. On the server, and it's 9 p.m. here in real life. On the other hand, it's like it's not night out here. Hey Shiloh, let's see where Stoyakov ends. At the moment he's at 15, the silver driver. Okay, starting.
Rolling.
Where is it? And they go Tarzan. Like, there's a lot of scary first corners in racing. Monza T1 is a classic.
Radiano Rouge is another.
Yeah, but this year is also scary as heck because you have cold tires and then you end up in the ground. I remember a DTM race, the old DTM, the Class 1 DTM, the classic one, where a driver was on first, went to pits, and somehow miscalculated, forgot that he had cold tires because he had changed tires, and went straight because he was not able to brake in time. So he was first, went to pits, and lost the race because he got stuck. Stuff that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's still quite light. I was expecting it to. I wouldn't even call this a night race. Although it's still big.
Do you know where your children are? That's an American thing. It used to be that at 10 p.m. There would be a PSA that would come on TV, and it's like, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? I don't know why they did that, but they did that for like.
They are driving fast
80s and
while
90s.
standing still in Assetto Corsa competition.
Yes, this is setting up for the race. That's why everyone's all organized and slow. We have 2 more corners to go, and then we will be to the racing.
For now, everything is quiet and
Yep, we're coming out to the start-finish straight now. And so when they cross that line, we are ready for all hell to break loose for 1 hour here at Zandvoort.
Green light, green light.
And
Here we go.
Here we go.
And it's Berghuis who has the lead, but it looks like Roybson might be coming around hot on the outside. Oh, Berghuis with the better exit. And it's Berghuis by, just a nose. They almost came together there. And he gets off to an early start. Ooh, and it's Limburg's coming around to, looks like, they are trading places, and it's 2 BMWs here, trying to figure out which one's which. Yes, Roybson passed Limburg's real quick in a nice move when Limburg's touched a wheel on the grass here at the start of the race. There is a lot going on, and just a little bit can do a lot for these drivers. We had, number 256 is off.
Hey.
That's a BMW. That's Stojakov. He's stopped on the corner exit there in the sand trap, and trying to rejoin there about as safe as it could be. He goes way down the order. But the leaders are off. Berghuis off to an early lead, followed by Roybson.
He lost control all by himself. Like the rear got loose, and he tried to regain control, and in doing so lost control.
In a similar incident, Van Holland, who we've seen as a contender in last season and the beginning of this season, he was also having a really hard time at the office today. Started pretty far back and ended up sliding off track, I think also by himself. He is third from the back now, so that'll be a long way to go.
Up front, 1.5 seconds away already from Roybson is Berghuis. Then Roybson, as we said, then Limburgs, Christo, Russo, and the first silver driver is in 6th position, Vieira.
Zandvoort is a quick circuit with a lot of banked corners. but it's a fairly narrow one, especially with regards to the racing line. You're doing a lot of left, right all the time, and so there's a lot of places that, you know, the track is already narrow, but the racing line becomes just single file entirely. It still creates some pretty good racing because you have opportunities for passing in some of the braking zones, and then on corner exits leading out to long straights, like the start-finish straight here, you have this big sweeping corner. So it does still produce some good racing. But then you go into the tighter technical sections, these fast technical sections, and it gets really narrow. So you'll see a lot of these drivers, whenever they're making a pass attempt, they're not going to be alongside each other for very long. Well, if they know what's good for them, they're going to try to make their move, get out in front, and keep it there, stave off the guy behind him. And so you'll see a lot of forcing the nose in to push the other driver off that racing line, because again, there's not a lot of space there. The 200 and the 508 car, Brightly and McDonald's, and it looks like also Gale. That's Matt Gale have all gotten into an incident together in Sector 1. That is after the Tarzan balked, and it looked like they kind of got into each other fairly heavily, because I am seeing some heavy front damage, front, side, and rear damage on the Nissan GTR driven by Gale. In the lead, it's still Berghuis, then Roybsam, then Limburgs. And Berghuis has 2 seconds on Roybsam already, but at the beginning of the race here, that's a good bit, but of course a lot can change in that time, especially on this circuit, and especially as it gets darker. You see kind of a pink sky in the atmosphere. And that will just get darker and darker and darker, and it will be more and more important that these drivers use their headlights to see. So here's a question. I don't play ACC all that much, and I've certainly never done an endurance race where I've damaged my front end heavily, but can you knock out a headlight? Yes. Oh, we have an incident. Oh, you can. Okay. We have an incident involving the 622 car and a few others. We have Cow stopped on the track. He's going again. We have, several drivers. I'm going to take a look. Yeah. It looks like...
was trying so he was trying to overtake Oaks.
Bumped into the back of him.
Yeah. And then the 164 bumped into him, and they had to wait for most of the other cars.
Yeah,
164 could not do anything. Could not do anything because he was trying to. He could not disappear into thin air.
Yeah, that's a Aston Martin driven by Adam Stewart there. We have the 469 car. Ronald McDonald's tour. You know what? He could just, I'm not going to, in case that's his actual name, I'm not going to dismiss it. But McDonald's had an incident in the BMW and teleported back to the pits.
Oh.
I'm not sure if a penalty will be assigned for that or not. But
so when you teleport into the pits, I think you're not allowed to leave pits for 3 minutes in a Assetto Corsa competition.
Okay. Gotcha.
The pit is now open.
I don't know if it's the same rule, but there's a similar rule in Assetto Corsa.
Well, Marty is saying Renato dropping stuff on a Sunday. So but they dropped a beta version, and luckily they dropped the news in the night between Friday and Saturday, so that gave me time to read it, analyze it, talk to a couple of the Reza guys, and get the better information in the news. So luckily, luckily, I could get more than one. Does the grid look? So Rupsam is now 0.6 seconds away from Berkhuis. Either Berkhuis did a couple of errors because he was far away, or I think it's more than Rupsam has been inching his way towards the first position. Then
yeah, Rupsam's now almost 2 seconds ahead of Limburg, so I think Rupsam just found the pace to catch Berghuis.
And what we also have is Parois and Fox battling against Tetley for 12. Oh, and Calgaro getting near to Viero in a battle for 6th. And what else do we have? Cedric against Volt in a battle for 20th and hitting Volt at the back. Not bumping Beamers because it's a Porsche and a Honda, but anyway. Ooh, and we have a lot of cars into pits, for which I suppose is diverse encounters of the not nice kind.
Oh, I thought you were going to say of the third kind.
Well, no.
Ooh, 200 car is stopped in sector 2.
Nah, not good.
That's Brighty, Antab Brighty. He
Let's
has
see the replay.
split off in a very fast place to slide off.
Yeah, he lost control all by himself.
Yeah, and that's the leaders going by him there. Robsam and Berghuis. And
At least he went out of the racing line quite fast.
yes, off-roading, as a matter of fact, to get away from them.
Yeah.
Which I can say I've done before, being that car. It's just that, you know what, I'm just going to completely avoid this. I've especially done that in multi-class when it's like the leaders for the overall winner coming up. I'm in a GTE car. I've spun it. I'm just gonna off-road it. You guys have fun. Have the track all to yourselves. Well, Roybsam, he was half a second back from Berghuis. Now that's at about 0.8 seconds back. So Berghuis is able to hold Roybsam off, but he's certainly not able to fully shake him, that's for sure. Now Berghuis, he's driving the McLaren 720S, which is, if I were picking a car to drive at this circuit, that is the one that I would pick. That is a car that is very well suited to fast corners, which this track has a lot of. Fast corners, banked corners, and it's a car that's really, really, really good for it. Viero, he's also in a McLaren Fox as well. Not too many others. We've got Jordan and Pattenden, but they're pretty far down the order. But those are some cars that, of course the BOP reins everything in. We're running a custom BOP that's supposed to get things a bit closer as well, but there's certainly driving dynamics of cars that makes them easier to handle on certain circuits versus others. And as for me, if I'm picking a car, It's the one that's in the lead right now, the McLaren 720S GT3 Evo.
And by the way, if it would be up to organizers, they would have even harder BOP, but in some cars they've gone to the maximum that Assetto Corsa Competizione. The thing is that the BOP is only adding kilos to the car, which, you ask me, it's stupid, because you should be able to throttle down the car like they do in real life.
Well, I'll tell you who's not throttling down. That's Roybsom. His last lap was the best lap of the race that anyone has set. And he has, in one lap, reined in Berghuis, and he has gone from a second back to 0.2 seconds back. So he is much, much closer than he was, glued to the back, well within striking distance. Roybsom and Berghuis for the lead. This is a very interesting one. 46 minutes to go in this race. We're just now coming up on some more lap traffic. That's the cars that you're seeing ahead. That looks like that's the 73 car, who's currently sitting in 36th place, second from the back. That's Slater. So yeah, we're getting to the point of the race where the leaders are starting to lap the back markers around here.
Well, in such a short circuit as Zandvoort, that.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
And
we're already getting to that point.
No.
Yeah, he looked.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think he thought better of it. But my guess is if he gets a good run through this section, we might see something after this corner. At Sim Racing Expo, Serta got to watch me absolutely bin it into the wall at that corner 2 years ago. Sim Racing Expo 2 years ago.
Was it when you were testing in the IMSIM rig?
It was not the IMSIM rig, no. It was some like Fanatec something or another. I think it was probably one of the first direct drives I had ever driven, and I was trying to just crank it over for the corner. They had the force feedback way too high on that thing. They were like, "Oh, this thing's got 8 Newton meters or whatever it was. We're just gonna put it on full," and I was having a hard time.
We're still watching the battle for first between Berghuis and Roybsom, because Roybsom goes off, and I'd be surprised if he hasn't lost 1 or 2 tenths.
Yeah, he's definitely lost 2 tenths. He's 0.4 seconds back, but he's got the overspeed still, which is impressive, given that he touched the sand on corner exit going on to that straightaway. But he does have the advantage of the draft. He is close enough to Berghuis to draft, and he's been doing pretty much the whole past few laps just in Berghuis's air pocket. So that gives him an advantage in the straights, to where if he can still stay glued to the back of him, he doesn't even have to fully be in the gas to maintain his speed, just because of the lack of air resistance. We had a big slip from Bridie there, the number 18 BMW. Both drivers pass him safely. But yeah, big slip from him. That was almost an incident.
We are now driving with Roybsom passengers, and you can see how the struggle in Zandvoort is real. I can almost feel the force feedback in my hands, seeing how he's driving. He's for sure not overdriving the car, he's driving but Zandvoort is Zandvoort. It's got a lot of corners and a lot of way changes. Ooh, That looks good. That was a very good exit. He's very near and...
Oh,
Yeah.
he's looking toward the outside. It's a good defensive line from
Yeah,
Berghuis, but he
absolutely, but
overshoots the
exactly.
braking. They're alongside each
Ripson.
other just about.
Oh!
Oh, a touch. Definitely a touch there.
Yeah, but like... Oh!
Oh, big slide
That...
for Roibsam.
Did he lose a little bit of control because of the touch?
I think so. It set him off of his line just enough that he went wide on the exit, and then once you're in the grass, you're in the grass.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, it looks like Berghuis fended that one off.
Yeah, maybe race control will take.
They might take a look at that. I think it might. They were both racing each other pretty hard there. I don't think anything will necessarily come of that one, but of course they'll take a look. But man, Roibsam saw an opening, went for it. Berghuis, who had kind of fumbled that corner braking zone, was able to pick up the pieces, be alongside him, and then they were both kind of going for the same piece of track, and Roibsam went off into the grass.
So now Ripson is for now too far away. I mean, we expect him to regain that lost time. But let's go for the battle for 7th between Calgaro and Biddle. I gotta say, I love the Bentley, but I don't like that livery a bit.
Let's see, the Biddle livery?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me take a look at it a bit closer on my screen. You know, I can agree. If you look at any one bit of it, like I like it's kind of a diamond pattern, that gradients between these things that makes kind of a stripe over the top and then like a two-tone. If you look at the gradients up close, it looks cool, but if you look at the thing overall, it kind of looks like dirt, and then, man, there's a color palette there that I'm not a huge fan of either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, beige and pink or fuchsia or whatever you want to call that color. Nah, not the combination. But
It's a
hey,
choice. It sure is a choice.
Exactly.
There's a lot of choices that you can make in life, and man, that sure is one of them.
And we're looking at the battle for 13th between Oaks and Perot.
Yep, Royd in the AMG. He is chasing Oaks in the Porsche. And did I not update my skin pack, or is Oaks driving a rust bucket?
He has always been driving a Rust.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't
his livery
crazy.
has always been a Rust bucket.
Gotcha. All right. Yes, the rusty carbon fiber Porsche. Yes.
I don't remember him ever driving anything else than that Rust bucket, which is a funny thing to do. Oh, and Royce, no, he thought better of it. He was about to overtake and then noticed that he wasn't moving. I'm curious to see if Becker is gonna repeat his strategy from last week. For those who are not watching last week or don't remember, he went almost until the last lap without going into pits, and then at about, I think it was 3 laps to go or so, he did the one pit stop that the drivers expected. That's something that we'll know later.
Roy stays glued to the rust bucket of Oaks. Not a lot of change to it all, but definitely there. Definitely something I'm keeping an eye on. But it looks like for now he's content to kind of hang back behind Oaks, and you know, it may even be that he's just like, you know what, I'm gonna draft, because there will be a point coming up pretty soon in this 1 hour race that we are 36 minutes through already, where both of these drivers will be coming in to take their pit stops. And so we've got not too long before then, so it may be that Proy is like, you know what, I'm not going to fight for this just yet. I'm going to, you know, just have more fuel in the pits by drafting, and that way I'll get out of the pits faster, and I'll make up my time that way. Speaking of pits, though, Gies is in the pits. Volt is in the pits. That's a cool name. That's 20th and 21st at the moment, but I think they were 18th and 19th when they came in. Berghuis, still your leader since the beginning of the race. He has taken Roibsam to task. He's now 1.7 seconds ahead. And then Limburg's is another now 1.8, 1.9 seconds. It is fluctuating with the same degree as the gap between second and first. But yeah, Limburg's is also behind Roibsam at the same distance. Is it just me, or is it not getting much darker? It's getting a little darker.
Yeah. Almost lost control there, but was able to catch it. That gave Parois about a tenth or two of a second. Now he's near enough. Oaks goes on the inside and therefore taking the defensive line.
Robert Volt goes out of the pits. Biddle and Perry come in. One group that we have not talked about much today is the bronze drivers, and that has been dominated this race by Bruce Eus. Eus? I don't know how to pronounce that name. It's E-U-S.
I don't know where he is from, so I won't.
Yeah.
Depending where
Bruce
he is from.
Yeah, he is in the top 10 overall, and he is leading the bronze drivers with 4 non-bronze drivers between him and second place Damian Maroney, who's down in 15th in a Porsche 992. And so looks like, and of course we've got some hit strategy to go. None of those drivers have taken their pit stops. Neither of those drivers, I'll say, have taken their pit stops, but looks like Hughes is feeling pretty comfortable right now. And then similarly, the silver class, Viero is again leading McLaren. 2 out of your 3 classes in this race are being led by McLarens and have been for a while. Viero is leading in 6th place. First overall, first in class, 6th overall. And then Fox is down all the way in 11th overall, and he's 2nd in class. And then you have to go all the way down to 21st place to find the 3rd place silver driver. So quite a spread.
It's getting night. Like now it's getting really dark enough that you're starting to have to smell some of the apexes.
I disagree. It's getting there, but my goodness, you can still see. You could turn off your headlights and still see pretty easily.
Okay, all right. I went into passenger mode to see what the driver can see from the inside. Yeah, like if you have the headlights, you can see better, but if you would not, you would still be able to see.
Oh, the 988 gets a stop and go. 30 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. The 988, that is Perry, Elshaug Perry, in the gold Lamborghini Huracan Evo 2. Not the gold colored, but the gold class. So
you know who's getting dangerous to... Oh, was getting dangerous. It seems that he lost a little bit of control. I think he's having problems with his tires. Rübsam was like 3/10 of a second away from Berkhuis, but after a couple of squirrely corners, he is now almost 2 seconds away. It looked very much as if he's having issues with
the gap to the guy in front of you, especially when that guy is Berghuis, is really, really hard to gain and really, really easy to lose.
Yeah, and he's going into pits as I was expecting. So he's going for new tires because his tires just said bye-bye. So, in retrospect, of course, hindsight is 2020. He should have changed tires 1 or 2 laps before that. Hey. Berkhuis, on the other hand, seems to not have any issues with his tires as he is driving his line, driving his time, not being as fast as Rübsam in his fastest lap, but still everything under control, at least as far as we can see. Have about half of the grid that has gone into pits. Now, when we
Rübsam just came out of the pits.
Minutes. Oh, and got a stop and go penalty. Oh, bother.
That's going to be very painful.
Yeah.
Especially with how hard fought maintaining his position has been, and how close. Oh, hey, let's look at Calgaro. Calgaro is spun out, stopped on the track. This looks like Sector 2. Number 50 Lamborghini of Calgaro.
Oh, lost control all by himself.
No, he did not. No, he did not. That was... he was involved in an incident with, I think that was Van Holland, and then he got hit. He was parked. He got hit again by a driver who it was a hit and run I didn't see.
It was
and
a
then
Porsche.
Another Porsche. He gets backed up, turned around, and he is going again, but had a long time to think about the incidents that he had with them. I don't know who I would assign blame to on the initial incident that spun him around, but once he was around there, he was in a really bad spot. But I think the drivers who collided with him after that probably should have known to check up.
Yeah, especially as Seto Corsa Competizione is fast with the...
Yeah, oh, and let's take a look at Geese. He has gone off the number 15 Porsche. That's an interesting case. He, I think, had a slight contact with another driver, went off into the dirt a little bit, and then just kind of off-roaded. And he has kind of remained off-roading as he gets going again. Now he's back on tarmac. But yeah, really tricky things going on here with some of these drivers.
getting blue flagged, of course, but he makes place and space.
Yeah, it's weird that he's going so slow right now because it looked like the initial incident that sent him off track wasn't that big of a hit. But I'm seeing some front end damage, so I wonder if there was something before what I had seen that preceded the incident that I tuned in for. It must have been, because he's really having a hard time, very much off pace going through the corners here. Russo has come into the pits. He was fourth place going in. Of course, we're in the pit stop shuffle now, but that's an important one because he's one of your leaders. Yes, has made it into the pits.
I'll be very happy about that. Becca is into pits, so he's not repeating the strategy of last week.
He's not. Let's take a look at Robsam and Wilson. Robsam had that stop go, took his pit stop. He's gone back from second place down into 14th. But he is fighting Wilson to try to get ahead and start making a comeback. But Wilson is playing defense like crazy. Oh, that's his opening. There he is.
Yeah.
That's a experienced driver there. He saw Wilson make just the tiniest little mistake, which was going a little wide. As soon as he opened a pocket, Robsam just dives inside and he's gone.
Very well done. Very clean. In a corner that is not easy where it's not easy to overtake, especially not to overtake clean. But of course Wilson also gave him the space. I mean, that's what we should be doing, but still gave him the space, so that was a nice overtake.
Well, he gave him the space, but really what he did, more importantly before that, was he opened up just a small hole to exploit, and Robsam, being an expert, just decisively went in and just, all right, you gave me an inch, I'm taking a mile, and now I'm miles ahead now. And Wilson going around this corner, he doesn't even see Robsam anymore. Robsam is already almost 5 seconds ahead. Russo and Viero are fighting, which is weird because Viero is kind of farther down, and that looked like there's a Porsche as well in the mix that's also fighting with Viero. I'm sorry, with Russo. That was a weird incident that I saw. Now Viero, he was leading the silver drivers, but I believe he took his pit stop. Yeah, he's taken 2 pit stops so far in this race, so he's actually dropped down quite a bit. He's in 28th overall now. He was in 10th. So I was thinking at first that that was for position with Russo, but I hadn't tuned into Viero's situation, and he's dropped very far down the order. 22 minutes and some change to go. Maroney comes in to take his pit stop. He was leading the bronze drivers. Oh, we've got the number 5 car off. A lot going on in the circuit right now. That's Van Holland. Van Holland had worked his way up a little bit, the silver driver. But now he is spun out and stuck. I'm going to go back and take a look myself. feel free to do so for the stream. Okay, Van Hollen spun all by his lonesome. Yeah, it was the kind of turn where it's a right-hander and a left-hander, is that right? Can't quite see exactly where he is in the replay. But he spun, and then there was someone else who decided to join him not too long after he spun. That was weird. That was an odd thing. But anyways, we get back going again. Van Hollen gets back going again, now in 32nd overall, last place in the silver class. First place in the silver class is Jim Fox. The Silver Fox, yes, there we go. But he is 0.91 seconds back now from Wilson. But more importantly, he's leading his class a healthy 5.7 seconds, 6 seconds ahead of Cow. KAU, Chris Cow of Nubs Racing.
And we don't have many battles. We have Fox against Wilson for 12, and then Jordan against Becca for 16th.
Well, at this point in the race,
Yes.
at this point in the race, everyone has taken one pit stop at least, which is the requirement. Yes, we have some with 2. I don't think we have any with 3. Yep, we don't have any with 3, but we have some with 2. Berghuis is back in the lead after the shuffle, and Limburgs, who at the beginning of the race was sitting back in 3rd, he has now moved into 2nd since Roybson had the stop-go penalty that sent him all the way back to 11th.
Well, it sent him back to 13th, but he's gamer.
Yes, yeah. Ois, the 811 Ferrari of G60 Racing. He is still miles ahead of any other bronze driver. He's 8th place overall. And that's a pretty healthy place to be. If you're a bronze driver and you're hanging out entirely with golds, he has on either side of him on the leaderboard at least, yeah, exactly 5. Yeah, at least 5. He's got 6 on one side, 5 on the other side. Gold drivers that he is comfortably in the middle of, and he's just passed Knight as well. So, yeah, I'd say he's doing all right. There might be a move up in his future. Jim Fox, 0.3 seconds back from Wilson. It's not for a class position, but it is for an overall position. Fox is going to say, hey, you know, any distance that I can get on Cow and Tetley. The silver drivers in the top 3 were pretty spread out. Whoa! Fox really misjudged the corner there. Wilson was going through it at not quite the rate of speed that Fox expected him to. Fox runs right into the back of Wilson. A whole bunch of drivers go flying by, including Cow. So Cow's the new silver leader. Fox has some work to do to catch up. And that looks like a 4 or 5 second gap between Fox and Cow, with Wilson in between them now. So Fox has really only hurt, well, himself and Wilson with that move.
But it, the car did a small jump, so it may have been some net collision. Not quite sure. Just before he hit Cow, Wilson's car did a very small jump that looked unnatural.
Well, we can say one thing for sure. It is getting properly dark now, and well, perhaps in the twilight hours we weren't too worried about the driver's headlights and all that. Now we are, and so a front-end collision if the server is set up for it, I think, could result in a broken headlight. And a broken headlight in the dark here could result in an extra pit stop, which would be devastating to any one of these drivers. It didn't look like we had that in this instance. Fox came away with his lights intact, and again, I don't know if that level of damage is set on the server or not. That would be a fact-finding mission, but it seems that we're all right for now. Everyone on the track has all their headlights, all their eyes in place.
May give Lindbergh a little bit of wiggle room to get near, but for now it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, he's got 5 seconds to make up on Berghuis. So Berghuis, he's got some insurance. So that's 5 seconds of insurance. And if Berghuis can make it through this, well, then the burden becomes an advantage, because and now he'll have those drivers between them, and Lindbergh's will have to make his way through them. But we can see the effects of it pretty immediately. The gap goes from, just in the time that I said that, from 5 seconds down to 4.4, now 4.5 seconds, 4.3 now. So yes, it is narrowing. That gap is narrowing, but there are cars in between them. So whether or not Lindbergh's will be able to capitalize on that will also be determined by how well Lindbergh's can make his way around that lap traffic as well.
And
you can see you can see now that Berghuis gets out onto the straight, had a pocket of open air after he passed the 3 car. And he's still got to make his way around the 11th car and all that, but he got to 5 seconds ahead of Lindbergh's, and Lindbergh's is now getting ever closer to some of that lapped traffic that Berghuis has already passed. So, it's by no means a guarantee. It just makes things a guarantee that they'll get closer. It just makes things a little bit more interesting. You were saying?
One who is not getting ahead the way that he wanted and we would be expecting is Rusam, who is still at 11th, losing because of the stop and go, losing for sure his second.
Yeah, Roybsum, you got a 30-second stop-go, but you also have to add in the time that you have for that in-lap into the pits, and then the out-lap out of the pits, and then the fact that your tires have cooled down, your next lap's not going to be as quick. Roybsum ended up losing a little over a minute due to that stop-go penalty. So making up a minute in 14 minutes now, that's going to be a tricky thing. Oh, we have a crash on the start-finish straight. That's the number 256 car. Stojakov is spun out. Oh, and he's in a really difficult spot to be in. The leader goes and drives by. Let's see what happened. Let's see, Stojakov, he was going alongside. Let's see, this is the 256. Oh, it was 2 BMWs. In there, they hit. Oh man, they hit. That looked like Gale. Yeah, they hit Gale. Sent Gale sliding backwards into the pit lane. So Gale is literally backwards, and ended up having to go through the pit entry backwards. That was Cow. Cow was involved. Who was a strong contender in the silver class. So that was Cow that got into Stojakov, and Cow comes into the pit. That was a hard hit by him, but also of him. And then once Cow and Stojakov spun out, and they spun out like the Beamers were bumping truly. But then they hit Gale, and I've never seen an incident like that. Gale, though, 508 car, he's off again. He has a drive-through penalty that was given to him, I think, from going through the pit lane, speeding in the pit lane is my guess. Because he got hit. He was not intending to go into the pit lane, but he got hit and just spun. He got spun into the pit lane. I've never seen anything like it. Backwards, and so I'm gonna guess that that was for speeding in the pit lane, that drive-through. Hopefully the stewards will take a look at that and maybe grant some amnesty on that drive-through. But he's gone out, had another incident where he spun off, and he just teleported back to the pits. So he'll be sitting there for a while. Man, he is in dead last. I don't think that's how he wanted his race to go. Certainly an innocent bystander caught up in that incident.
And we are following at the moment Knight against Eus. We're gonna say that we pronounce it that way. 3/10 of a second now, 2/10 of a second away from Eus.
They're alongside each other. That looked like a really good pass attempt from Knight, and he gets it done. That's the Nissan passing the Ferrari. Yeah, that was a masterclass.
That's gold passing bronze.
Yes, it is. It's not for class position, but it is for overall. And it's important if Knight wants to have a chance at catching up to Beles, which with almost 10 minutes, only 10 minutes left to go. Yeah, that's going to be tough since Knight is 11 seconds trailing behind Beles.
So now we're following Jordan battling Fox for 13th.
These are two
Get on the
McLarens.
inside. He gets the inside, and that was not good from Fox. He just bumped into him as if he would not be seeing him. And guys, nowadays you have stuff like Crew Chief that has a spotter that can tell you very well where other cars are.
Yeah, it was one of those things. We saw the exact same maneuver happen at the same corner just a lap ago, and then we see it here with these two guys, and they just do it quite a bit messier. Every masterpiece has its cheap copy, they say.
But Fox now getting nearer to Jordan all by himself, and Jordan's car gets all squirrely, and Fox can overtake him. No issues.
Petley and Bacher are also racing hard against each other. They were alongside for just a second. I think they made a... I think he did make a pass. Bacher passed Tetley. That's a bronze driver passing a silver driver. We also had a car stopped. I want to say it was the 334 car, but I'm not sure. That was Maroney. He's going kind of slow now. I think he spun off and had an incident. We've got so much going on track right now that I don't want to use the replay to go back and look at it. But certainly a lot going on in the mid-pack here. Top 3 has been kind of quiet since the pit scuffle, however you want to call it. It's been Berghuis in first, Limburgs in second, Christo in third. A Lamborghini driver we have not really mentioned a whole lot in this race. That's Daniel Christo, Roll Autosports. And then Russo in the GTR is in fourth place. Back behind them, Jack Biddle rounds out your top 5.
And we're watching Becca, Tetley, and Cedric battle for 15th overall. And it's bronze, silver, and gold driver. You would expect that it would be gold, silver, and bronze, but no, it's bronze, silver, and gold. And Cedric goes for it. Takes the inside and gets overtake done. That has made him and Tetley lose a little bit of time to Becca, who is of course very happy about that because the pressure is off for now. 7 minutes until the end of the race. Oh, and somebody going into pits? That? Ah, Gale, okay. Gale, who unluckily is dead last.
I don't know if you could hear that outside of all the game race engine noises, but someone just downshifted and floored a superbike outside my house.
Oh, no! I could not hear it.
It was very loud. That was awesome.
So you got a good noise filter.
I guess so, yeah. Discord does a good job at automatically filtering background noise. I've actually been crunching on chips and I don't think anyone's heard it.
Nope.
At least enough to mention it, yeah, so.
So we are watching Bidel against Russo, although Bidel is 1 second away and losing time. What else do we have? Cedric, Tetley, Becca, once again near enough to each other. Becca 15th overall and the second position of the bronze drivers. Five minutes to go until the end of the race.
And it is properly dark out now. We see drivers flashing their lights and doing all the night racing things that you would do. Oh, Wilson. Whoa, Wilson had an off and then got back going again and very nearly got into, I think that's Russo. Yeah, very nearly got into Russo's in 4th place overall. Four minutes to go, and it's kind of calmed down a little bit. A lot of these drivers racing the championship now, which is to say that they're comfortable, or at least accepting of the positions that they're in. We're seeing some movement between 15th and 20th. And oh, speaking of movement, Wilson goes off into the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of a broader bunch of overtakes. Wilson, I think, having some issues. 30 seconds ago, he was driving off of the track into the grass to allow some lap up drivers to pass, and he stayed off into the grass around a corner, and of course, because he was in the grass, he did not have the cornering grip to actually take the corner and ended up into the wall.
Not the way that you want to be racing.
No, certainly not. And I think that's one of those things where maybe it's inexperience, maybe it's just nerves of night racing, but you see a bunch of headlights come up behind you. You don't want to, you want to be a nice guy. You don't want to be the bad guy who blocks them and ruins their race for them. So you go wide to allow them to pass, but then they're not passing, right? So you're trying to stay wide, or should I go even wider? And he went so wide he went into the grass, and then a corner that he wasn't planning for came up and just boom into the wall.
I'm normally the one who is being lapped, but what I do is I don't make it difficult for the others to lap me and to overtake me, but it's not as if I'm going into the grass so that you can overtake me. If there is no space, there is no space, and I'm sorry for you, and I understand your frustration, but I'm trying to survive this race too.
Berghuis has a lead gap of 11.5 seconds. I'm looking at the average lap time. I'm looking at where he is. He just crossed into sector 3 on the track. Minute 13, minute 12. I think we're going to have one more lap to go after this one, and that will be it for the 1 hour of Zandvoort with Evolution Racing Academy.
At night. As you now can clearly see, or not see because it's night.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
Well, we've had a wonderful time walking without rhythm among the dunes. Avoid the sandworm. I just say that because it's, they talk about the dunes of Zandvoort. But it's been a very fun race. There's been some really good battles. And it pretty much has played out like we said at the beginning, where it's a lot of single file, and then at those key moments, there's just a lot of quick movements to take positions, and you have to strike at Zandvoort. You can't just, I'm gonna pass you. I'm striking to pass you, and so it's always some fun racing. All right. We have run out of time. We are at 0 seconds. This is the last lap. The 59 car, Berghuis, he is leading the race. He has dominated the race from the beginning to the end, as is common in ACC. He goes through sector 3. Now he has just three more corners to go. There's this one. And then there's another. Oh, the 200 car is stopped on the track. That's Brighty. That is past the start-finish line, though, so it will not affect our leaders. But, yep, going around the last corner, now on to the start-finish straight. Berghuis crosses the line, and he is your winner.
And soon Limburg will be doing the same.
Yes, he's got a gap of 12 seconds to Berghuis coming across the line now. There we go. Limburgs takes second place. Cristo in the 99 Lamborghini, he is coming across now. That's your top 3 finished. Fox has crossed the line in that bunch of cars that you saw ahead of him. That's the leader of the silver class. Tetley, second place in the silver class. Volt will be coming around in third in the silver class. Bakker has finished a guaranteed second place. For the bronze, Ius is coming around the final bend now to win the bronze class. I think that is his first win of the season. And there we go. And then third place, Gamble has already crossed the line in the bronze class.
And interestingly enough, Rupsa makes the top 10.
Yeah, he was finally able to crack it. It was a hard-fought battle for him. But man, one big mistake, that stop-go penalty, really, really changed the trajectory of the rest of his race.
What a pity.
Absolutely.
Anyway, any last words from you? These three.
Well, it's always fun racing at Zandvoort. Here at the dunes, a night race added a little bit of complication to it. These guys are pretty good at racing at night. I don't think we saw too much different from it, except maybe, you know, onboards looked a little different. It's always more, I'll call it interesting, difficult, challenging to commentate a night race because it becomes harder to see whose car is whose. But we have a lot of great tools. I've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next one. Serta, take us out.
The next one is gonna be Valencia, and it's gonna be a hot race. At least that's what is planned. A hot race in Valencia next week. Same place, same space. And for me, that's it from Rum Roman for this race. Until the next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other at the podium.
Bye.